and it's a huge job for Texas law enforcement and emergency workers to manage. I want to bring in Ken Paxton, Texas Attorney General. Sir, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
Obviously, you see the best and the worst of people after a devastating event like this, which is far from over. I want to ask you, what is your biggest concern as we just begin to start to see some of the damage?
Well, obviously looting, but also, you know, we have a lot of price gouging going on. We've had over 200 complaints since this all began. We're investigating a lot of those. Fortunately, we have people letting us know. We have a website where people are informing us, and so, you know, there are severe penalties in Texas, up to $20,000 per occurrence. And if you do this to somebody that's over 65, the penalty is even greater, so up to $250,000. So we're serious about this, and we're going to try to stop it.
Yeah, I have seen an interview earlier. You had said anywhere between $42.99 and $99 for a case of water. So folks are certainly seizing on the opportunity. But I want to ask you, as you start to look at some of the damage that we're seeing on the ground, what are reports that you're getting? You know, we're just getting photographs and video out of Rockport. We're just getting into some of these communities that, you know, maybe there's one way in and one way out, and we're just starting to see some photographs. What are you hearing?
Well, I'm actually hearing the same thing on the Rockport, Ingleside, Port Aransas, Aransas Pass. Those are the four focuses for our emergency relief and for our law enforcement going in. Obviously, we've only had since daybreak to really deal with this, but those are the areas I think that we're most concerned with right now. Right,
and as we see more rainfall come, we could be shifting the conversation. I do want to ask you the fact that we saw the president sign the declaration really before the storm started to hit much of that state. What position does that put you in? Does that help you? Does that help the state? Does that help the governor? I mean, does that help you at all before we really start to see the damage?
No, absolutely helps us. I mean, just knowing that it's there, obviously there's tremendous resources available from the federal government. Our governor's done a great job working with the president, and so I think it's going to make a huge difference in getting relief more quickly to the people that need it the most. So, you know, organization is key, but resources and having the financial resources and the equipment to take care of these people is what we need. So I feel very good about where we're at right now.
You talked a little bit about the governor. We expect to hear from Governor Greg Abbott right around 12:45 Eastern Time. We have word that there's a press conference at that time. He obviously is in Austin, Texas. I want to ask you, what do you expect that we're going to hear from the governor at this point? And also when it does come to law enforcement, when it comes to people seizing on the opportunity, and like you said, there's even a harsher penalty for folks who are over the age of 65 who are violated. So is that all going to be laid out in this press conference along with an update?
Yeah, I think the governor's going to have a lot of detail on which areas are hardest hit, where we're at with potential rescues. I think he's also going to talk about resources coming into the state and where we're directing those resources. So the governor's doing an amazing job. He was prepared for this, obviously has lots of experience. And Texas, in and of itself, has lots of experience. We've done a good job in the past, and I think you're going to see that we're going to do a good job on this and hopefully take care of the people who need it the most.
You know, and I know that, like you said, Texas is no stranger. I only have about 30 seconds left, but I do have to ask you, because we've all been sort of wondering if people didn't heed those evacuation calls. And a lot of people are saying they can't really get in and out, and I'm wondering if you have an update at this hour. It's almost 12:30 Eastern Time. If you are getting a sense that people did heed those evacuation warnings.
You know, I've still heard rumors that there are people that did not heed those warnings, and I think some of our law enforcement are dealing with that right now, trying to rescue some of those people. Unfortunately, you know, when you have a state as large as we have with 28 million people and millions affected, right, not everybody takes those warnings seriously.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, sir, thank you so much for joining us. You're in our thoughts and prayers.
Thank you. We appreciate that.